7 o'clock. I'd like to call to order the committee of the whole meeting for March the 12th. First order of business, a call for community interest regarding the agenda. I have anything, so we will go on to the agenda. Are there any additions or deletions that anybody has?
Mr. Mayor, I didn't get any kind of indication that those wanted to be the focus of the taxi, just running a taxi service currently going to be here, so we'll strike that.
We'll strike that one. Okay. Any other? If not, can I get a motion to accept the agenda with that one deletion, please?
The agenda with deletion.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, so first order of business, 4.1, the honesty annual FCS visit, and Dean has sent a couple of able-bodied ladies from the FCS, Carol Dwone and Sarah Russell. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming, and I will turn it over to you.
Okay. Do you have our presentation? Yeah. Perfect. So we're here today to talk about our FCSS services for multi-municipal partnership, as well as kind of do an annual review of what we've accomplished over 2023 and some of our plans for the upcoming year as well. On your first page there, just hasn't changed since last year. This is our job org chart for our department. So we have our Family Resource Network staff and team, our bridge team, our FCSS team. These are all the roles within our department. There's 1 month position for us. There's 1 month Family Resource Network for a number of months in September, and we're going to be moving forward and getting ready to hire for that position. So we are hiring in kind of a part-time position. So there's some changes there in terms of some support staff roles and network support specialists. So that's a resignation that we have been anticipating, so there'll be another staff change that that position will be posted right away. That position will be So for our family and community support services program, that is new information to you all that we thought we'd come and share it again. We have a grant with the province of Alberta, which we sourced through the municipal partnership for Kalmar, Thorsby, and Warburg. Our principles that are fundamental to FCS programming, prevention, altruism, community development, local autonomy, and accountability. And our focus is around providing locally driven professional social programs in individuals, families, and communities. We provide voluntary support, which means people come to us, and we can provide them with information, referral, and advocacy. We offer some subsidies, and we provide workshops. Some of the subsidies that I'll tell you about today, we have our counseling subsidy, which we've had for many years. The stats for last year we'll go into on another slide. We've had a couple of changes with 2024 where we've actually removed the co-pay amount for people accessing subsidies for counseling, so that they can be offered a certain number of free sessions with our partnership through that local counseling center. And then we also have our housekeeping subsidy, which is geared to And then, the other program that I oversee is our Bridges FASD program. So that's a program for adults who have either been diagnosed with fetal alcohol spectrum disorder or may have fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. So we provide, that support again, one-on-one support that can be in the home or in the community. And most of the work we do is to help support individuals to be successful and have a stable life. And also we do awareness around prevention for FASD. And then we just have a slide on the different programs that are offered in this coverage area, service area for each of those programs, because they are government funded programs, they each have a little bit different boundaries when it comes to that. So my program, the FCSS Multi-Municipal, we serve the towns of Kalmar, Thorsby, the village of Warburg, and then all the rural areas, including Wistrata. So my team, there's 4 of us on my team staff, plus the coordinators in each of those communities, that make us part of that multi-municipal team. And Carol, correct, we have in the Bridges program, we have 2 FASD support specialists, and then we also have a supervisor for FRN, and then 4 other FRN support specialists. So we're a total of 9 staff when we're at full capacity. And we also, we serve Devon and Beaumont with the FRN, and with our Bridges program, we also serve Ladue. Our social framework is our guiding document. That with the process that we went through in 2019 to determine what our goals and priorities are for the region. Through that, we came up with value statements that are still very connected to the work that we do, building capacity building, access to and awareness of social programs and services, reducing barriers, giving families opportunities to raise healthy, active children in quality and community environments, fostering healthy individuals and families, and for those who live in poverty, they'll have equal access to health through resources. Sure, some of our successes over the year have been our National Indigenous Peoples Day event. We had that out at Randall's Mission. We partnered with the school and also with Randall's Mission, Parks and Rec, the Family Resource Network, CSS, and when we put on a full day there, we had elders and knowledge teachers come out and do Randall's teaching. We had the traditional feast there, other hands-on activities, craft, teaching, and it was a full day of learning, and we did have the grade 5 students from Thorsby come out to attend that day, so that was great. And last Wolf was able to arrange and cover all the busing and stuff like that, so we're really happy with that day. And then Connect 39 weekly articles, so we've got weekly articles in there, as well as Warburg and Thorsby at CSS, also have those articles in there. Sometimes those articles are around awareness topics, sometimes it's a family activity that we're putting out there, and it could also be something that we're offering. So there's always something in there. And the crisis resource list was one of our highlights and successes this year, and as well as affordable housing grants. Yeah, Ladue County contributed to housing grants. And highlights in the child and youth area are our kid kits. We partnered with United Way to be able to offer kid kits, and those are developmental kits for children between the ages of 0 and 5 that come with all different developmental information in there, as well as activities for families to do. So we can give Thorsby here, we can't do it on the spot. We presented those and gave kits out to everybody, and then we also put it in Connect 39 for people to be able to inquire if they wanted one, and then we gave them out to families. That will be something we continually do. We also did some preschool prep. We developed a youth directory. Give you a visual. We developed a youth directory, and then this is distributed to all the junior high and we don't get many contacts. We had a few, and we arranged, people had transportation, so we gave them gas cards to help get into the for that. And then help the people is our parent education, family engagement, and our driving camp prevention, alcohol and health education. So we've done a lot of educating and learning sessions throughout the year. So I'll talk a little bit more about our seniors and assisted transportation program. So we are providing a subsidy for free rides for folks to our older adults to get to the appointments. This is a partnership with Drive Happiness. Drive Happiness is a nonprofit organization that serves many communities throughout Alberta, and they rely on volunteers who are reimbursed for rides. So far, we've had quite an uptake for this program, which is really great. In order to be eligible, they need to be a resident of the county, Calmar, Thorsby, be 65 years of age, and have the mobility to enter or exit the vehicle on their own. So there are no financial eligibility requirements. It is merely an age requirement. Seniors between the ages of 65 and 79 can access up to 5 round-trip rides per year, and folks over 80 can access up to 10 round-trip rides per year. This is something that Leduc County felt was really important for supporting our residents to age in place, and we were able to secure actually a really nice donation from a private business that will definitely carry us through the remainder of 2024. So we'll be looking at encouraging donors going forward as well. And this program does rely on local volunteers to provide the rides. We are looking to support Drive Happiness with finding a couple of more volunteers for this program. Basically, if you can provide a police records check and a driver's abstract and have insurance, you know, they're looking for folks who are driving into the bigger cities on a regular basis can offer a ride for their department. And then our statistics from 2023, the first one is our SPSS statistics, and it's this infographic does include all of the stats that I was able to collect from the town of Calmar, the town of Thorsby, and the village of Warburg. So this is the multi-municipal picture of all of the things that we were able to do as a larger group. And it looks at how many participants we were serving through 2023, the number of sessions that we were able to subsidize for counseling. We subsidized 161 counseling sessions for 33 individuals and 1 family. We're currently partnering with 6 different counseling clinics throughout the region. We have 2 clinics that are offering sessions in the town of Calmar. So, and they're hopefully one of them will be providing something a little bit more rurally out this way as well. So we're always looking for clinicians who are able to provide services out this way. All of the volunteers were tracked for all of the programs, all the FCSF programs, 142 volunteers who contributed 699 hours. And then our housekeeping program, which served 44 older adult households, and our total number of workshops and events, we had 45 sessions with 767 participants. The volunteer income tax program, which is a huge value to our community, was able to result in over $3 million of government benefits in return for low-income residents in the region, because they do 422 tax returns through the volunteer program. Information referrals, we are getting lots of walk-ins, emails, and phone calls, people wanting to know how to connect to appropriate resources. We tracked our social issue awareness sessions. We had 96 participants in 7 sessions. And our community connection events, 183 participants in 6 events. Our senior sessions, we had 200 participants in 10 events. Financial literacy, 36 participants in 4 events. Parenting workshops, 139 participants in 6 sessions. And one thing we tracked this year was our social media campaigns. So through Facebook and Instagram, we ran some ads for not only with our relationship with Connect 39 and the newspaper and the way that you guys can promote things locally on Facebook, there's just so many ways that we can connect to people, so it's very valuable.
And I'll go over some of our FRN with you. So we did provide 26 sessions to the caregiver capacity area, so that would be parent education. We had 231 participants. Our social inclusion, in this number, it includes our Thorsby drop-in site. So we had 851 for all of our sessions, so that would be primarily Thorsby and Devon drop-ins that we had. And we have, even though we don't have high traffic coming in to Thorsby, we do have people dropping in there. We love the space. We really appreciate being able to be there and having, being able to have a support place right here in Thorsby. And we've had people coming in from, seniors asking about foot clinics, if we know where there's a foot clinic, to families coming in and wanting support. We have families coming in who don't have internet maybe, and they'll come in and do a parenting program online. So a number of things. We've had families come in, just, they need to get out of the house with their children, so they come over, or they come over without them for coffee too. So, not a lot of people at one time, but we have people coming in and out. Child and youth development, we had 73 sessions with 756 participants. Community awareness, 11 events with 1,125 attend. So we've had almost 3,000 people attend our programs and events. And with our in-home support, we provided 965 in-home visits to 255 families. The referrals is something I'd like to highlight. Is we can see that the highest number has been self-referrals this year, and that's a big shift because primarily when we started out, Alberta Health was our primary referral source, and self-referral was our lowest number, and now that's the highest number. Schools have kind of remained the same. They're pretty high referrals, and these referrals are all for in-home support that we're receiving. And we do accept referrals, like we take referrals from anybody, and we take referrals from all the SDF area as well. And then we also do take phone calls and emails, and those we call information referrals, and those are referrals that we're providing them support or links to be able to get the support their phone. So the highest number was in areas around strengthening relationships that people were looking for. And then we had 264 parents and children attend summer programs. Bridges, our FASD program, we have supported 38 individuals last year with over 1,200 one-on-one visits, including referrals. We hold a conference every year. This is our third year for holding our conference, and that's specifically for our participants in our program to come out and enjoy a day focused on training for them and also some fun things like that. So we had 18 come out for that. And then we had the awareness campaign at the chamber luncheon. And we also received, we made a city media here, new promotional material. So you may have seen it in Thorsby. There should be one here. It's a red shoe. And it talks about, it just says FASD awareness, and there's a red shoe because there's a red shoe campaign for FASD Day in September. September 9th is FASD Day. And we encourage people to wear red shoes. And the whole reason is so if somebody asks you why you're wearing red shoes, because it's not the most common color for a shoe, then we can talk a little bit about it. So, yeah.
So some of our priorities for this year, we're going to be focusing on developing our volunteer program. We do have volunteer procedures, and we have a volunteer package, but we're really going to focus on having a policy. And that relates to our HR department and health and safety, and making sure that we're taking care of our volunteers and having proper things in place to be able to make sure that we can utilize our volunteers to the best capacity. then the other focus for 2024, this one is our Aging Well and Living County Toolkit. We are going to be connecting with the community, with seniors, customizing a toolkit for our region. So that the focus is on, what does it mean to age in Ledger County, and what things are needed in more rural areas in order to support that living well as possible, and allow folks to kind of customize that plan and be in charge of that as well. And then,
another priority is our social framework review. So going through the social framework and determining what it is we still work towards and develop new priorities for the future. So we've been working on that process with the Ability Council this morning. And then our other is around healthy relationships. So creating the programs, workshops, and activities that focus on those healthy relationships, because we have a lot of the calls that we do receive for family support when we're going in-home, there may be some relationship breakdown going on for families. And if we can support that before they can support that too. So focusing on that, as well as family violence prevention, youth life skills, and family engagement. And then the next is some photos from some of our events. There's a couple down at the bottom that are from the Youth Wellness Symposium. There's a couple that are from our National People's Day. And then a couple of our promotional things we put in there. So we've got the September 9th FASD Day. That's one of our banners. And then all the feet around that, that's an FASD walk we did with our participants. And then the other one is how will you invest in yourself today? So what we did is we made some large banners with some positive things on for people to look at, and it was in relation to mental wellness, so encouraging people to take time for themselves, and we made big banners, and then we rotated them throughout parks, all the different parks. So it was in Thorsby for a couple of weeks, in Warburg, and Sunnygrove. We put it everywhere throughout the county. We have two of them, so we were team members at one end, and the other end is just kind of rotating them wherever they could put them up on a fence. So that was new and a lot of fun.
Is September 9th the standard FASD day?
It is.
It doesn't vary from year to year.
It's always September 9th. It was designated September 9th because it's the 9th month and to represent 9 healthy months of pregnancy. 9 months.
Oh, yeah. Somebody was thinking.
Yeah. What's your name?
Thank you, Lydia. That was a lot of information there, and there's a lot of stats there that you guys keep track of there. Does anybody have any questions or anything you want to comment on?
Well, actually, I did have somebody a while back. That was a young adult that was needing a ride to Ledger for Edmonton for an appointment, who does not drive. I don't know why they're not able to get a driver's license, and their family is like at Pinot or somewhere that direction. And so they were wondering, I think Mom was asking on behalf of the young adult of how they could get a ride. And so is your seniors ride happier? Sorry, I didn't call it the right thing, but you know what I'm talking about. Is it extended to anybody else ever?
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes there are exceptions, but they're usually very specific ones. So it's saying that it's like, generally speaking, drive happiness, they're 65 plus, but there are times when they've been able to accommodate. So always a referral to SC.
Hopefully we got through. I never just find out the outcome.
Thank you. Everybody else? Well, thank you very much. Well done, and we'll do it again. I'm quite sure.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Tell Dean he has to come next time. All right. Get a motion to accept the, SES report, annual report for information.
I can make that motion.
Shelley, favor? All right, moving on to new business, 5.1, asset disposal of patrol vehicles. Yeah, Donna, you wanna tell us about that?
I certainly can. So the peace officer vehicle was purchased from the town of Thorsby from Bradley County. Of course, came to us fully loaded with community peace officer accoutrements like sirens, etc. So now that we've entered into a contract with the town of Kalmar, I was chatting with Solicitor General last week, and we just straightened things out. Nothing bad, but they want our vehicle deckled with Kalmar's deckling because we contract Kalmar. That's their standard rule. And Kalmar is looking at the decking. You guys look at the patch man, and that's as well. And so Savannah and I, the CEO from Kalmar, and I got together and said, okay, so A, we have to dispose of an asset, so I said I can't turn this over until regular in March. But we thought we proposed to our legal counsel the fact that we sell it to Kalmar for $1, and they register and insure it. We keep the same agreement with maintenance and so on and so forth because we are sharing things 50-50. And then if, in the event that they have their authorization canceled by Solicitor General or the town of Kalmar ceases to provide peace officers with a contract, or we opt out or cancel our partner program, where the agreement is terminated, we would buy it back for $1. And so because it's worth more than $1, we have to have a council resolution at regular because it is a disposable asset, and it's above. We haven't written a new policy, so I only have a $1,000 limit, so it's a little above my limit. In consultation with our legal counsel, basically they provided us with the writing to addend, to put an addendum to the service contract, and basically it just entitles the town of Kalmar as the authorized employer to deckle the patrol vehicles with their general standards as outlined in their manual, and it'll be belong to the town of Kalmar. So then we look at doing some education in the town based on the fact that we're contracting a service. That Dayron still services Thorsby, he still is us, he's supervised by us as per the agreement. He takes his direction from the town of Thorsby and his service levels from the town of Thorsby, but the contracted service has to have the deckling and has to own the cost. That is where that's at.
Okay, so then we'll just bring it back at a regular meeting for the
The resolution, this just gives you be able to read it, think it through, and it's been done before, but Solgen's made some changes where they're more adamant. It never used to be like that, where when I was in Rimby, we could use the Rimby car and Sylvan Lake, and that we could put small decals on for the other 7 summer villages we looked after. You can't do that, right? But Solgen is quite happy with the contract, quite happy with our jurisdiction. Contract is really an extension of jurisdiction for Kalmar. So we'll just need a resolution should council decide to do that.
We'll just go through all these. Nothing that needs resolution. Okay, thank you. Any questions, anybody? 5.2, the May long weekend parade. And actually, I guess it's not just the parade, you're probably looking at the whole weekend, right? Is what,
No,
what's
I
the
was
parade?
just asking about the parade.
Just asking about
I
the
just
parade?
wanted to have a plan.
Okay.
But, yeah, if you want to incorporate what we're going to be doing with the weekend,
Sure, we can talk about that a little bit.
I was hoping John and Corey would be here.
So I kind of thought, like 75th, it's your 75th, but I thought about it, and I talked to Don a little bit about it. I think I'd like to have a float in there. I'd like to have like a mayor float. All the mayors that are still surviving, there's 6 of them. Myself, Rod, Barry, Rick, Phyllis, and Ted Diller. I'm not sure if Ted can make it.
That's
the only 6 that are still alive.
That's, the ones that I see, there's 15 up there.
Rescue.
So what I was thinking is that, get Jesse to, get us a picture, just a poster picture of all those. And we just kind of put them on the float. and
Your
then-
faces?
Oh, faces. I think that'd be a great idea.
I think we should get cardboard cutouts.
And then, you know, put the name, like, you know, put the name at the top, first name in the bottom, and just kind of have them around there, and then, you know, we can dazzle it up a little bit and put some 75 anniversary on the truck, and then where I can get a trailer, and, you know, we'll just boost it up a little bit, and I think it'd be kind of a good idea, and if it's a nice little boat, we could always probably bring it to Warburg or Selma or whatever too, later on, right? I don't know what you guys think.
Whatever you like.
Well,
Well, actually, I kind of like the idea of a cardboard cutout. Somebody, you know, if, council wants to ride on the float as well and could hold the other heads of.
well, I think it'd be a novel idea. I mean, if they don't want to go, I guess it's, you know, I haven't reached out to anybody. I've talked to Phyllis, I guess, and Phyllis, thought it was a good idea. She's the oldest one, and she said she'd, be happy to be there and rocking chair and
We have
throw
not
candy at the kids.
get cars, like convertible for, follow behind that.
Where would you get those?
And as you know, we are organizing parades, so, we'll be taking, Donna, can you kind of tell you how that's going to go with it? And people will phone in here, I guess.
Yeah, well, we have, where are we getting calls phoning in already wanting to be here? And they're all outside vendors. And so we'll start to throw it out there on social media probably the 1st of April, because you don't want to be too soon. We're in negotiations right now with the marching band out of Edmonton. They've asked to come. And we've got some folks out of Leduc that want to come, vendors that want to play the float. So we'll just throw it out there, advertise it. I'll talk to the stock yards to see if we can stage there. And then it's just the only thing we have to stage is making sure that the dignitaries are in the front along with the RCMP. The fire trucks are in the back. We'll put probably Dion in the middle, and or you might have to leave the mounties around. I'm not sure, but we'll discuss that. And then to make sure there's no horses near sirens, and then everybody can just self-stage themselves and with the stop at the community center for cake and coffee and those kinds of things. So that's kind of where we're at. We're getting calls already.
No, I just didn't want to leave it to the last second to be kind of scrambling to figure out what we're going to put together for a float. So that's where I was interested.
We are always thinking.
Okay. And so will you, as administration, purchase candy then?
You can certainly purchase an expensive back to your GL. Whatever you decide.
We can order it off Amazon.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem.
I would leave that in your hands.
Okay.
And then the deal is, as we discussed afterwards, after the parade, I'm assuming the parade will be at noon or something like that. And then, you know, allow an hour for the parade and see 1:30 at the complex, and we'll have some bunch of chairs set up and cake and food.
All right, yep. That was primarily the parade that I was trying to figure out what we were going to be doing.
Are we inviting all prior councils or just the mayors?
I think in the paper we'll put an open, right? And, you know, open anybody that comes, and if you know, if they show up at the, complex, we'll acknowledge them, and, you know, it's not gonna be a very long program, we just have to, make a few announcements who's there, and then, sit around and eat cake and coffee.
What's that, drink beer?
Yes.
And dishes are always worth it, because this is your party, so we don't want to do it all. You know, like, we want to make sure that you have your input.
Anything else that we, bring it up, we can always discuss it and put it in there.
all about tradition for the most part when it comes to the parade, and it's about having floats and candy, and
Yeah.
people are happy.
I think it's important that we put a float in.
Sunshine and no snow.
I think Public Works should probably go with their fire truck.
I'll be on the fire truck. This year I've been told I have to run the side, Linda's gonna drive.
Well, that's, yeah, 2 floats in there, and then if you ladies want to go in the cars again, whatever, you're all good.
All right, so you're on the cars then, Donna? On getting them? All right. All right.
Okay.
You sound
I need to
skeptical.
know, I need to know when to put it into gear, that's all.
Just a quick question, Your Worship. Is the parade, I've been in it twice, but I can't remember. Start at 11 or 12?
As soon as the siren,
As soon as the siren goes off,
sounds.
I'm sorry.
12:08 siren.
The 12:03 or 12:06.
I think it's 12:03 right now.
Okay.
Okay, at the start of
Yeah,
the
that's
siren,
what I thought.
they lead up.
But we create the route.
So I'm guessing it'll probably take, close to an hour for the parade to wind through and wind down and everybody disperse, and then if we allow another half an hour for people to go to the complex.
Yeah, and we'll do the same route as last year. It works really well. It's a good route, and then we just end, everybody just restages the complex or drops people off.
Yeah. One day.
I'm gonna go for the shit goes off the street.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. I like riding that old fire truck. It's fun. Then instead he's not using the siren.
All right, okay, 5.3, SCM Annual Conference 2024, registration, and I know we've, talked about this before. The opening, since it's in Calgary, right? Calgary this year instead of in Ottawa, we were gonna send somebody, and I think, Corey, has shown some, interest in going, and I don't know if you want to send 2 people or 1.
If Corey wants to go, I'm happy to have him go. I don't need to go, unless you need me to go.
Probably, would be enough. So, just brought it up again here, and then we'll bring it, resolution. I think we'll need to put a resolution for the next one.
Will, Your Worship, in order to expense money out of your account?
Yeah. So, we will bring it back to the meeting on the 26th, and then we'll get the registration going, and away we go. 5.4, budget 2024 update for the National Police Federation. Donna, you want to comment on that for us?
Certainly can. The National Police Federation, which is supports the RCMP, is asking for 400 more positions to keep pace. And they're arguing that millions collected for policing municipalities have been reinvested back into services in major cities like Edmonton and Calgary, or the Alberta sheriffs who do not perform policing duties in rural Alberta. The RCMP, other than court duties, right, court transfer. So a letter was written to all of us from the National Police Federation, wanting to have municipalities support the over 400 RCMP efforts to meet population growth. I actually think they're being very conservative. I think we probably need close to 600 in Alberta, but it's only increased from 2017 to 2022 by 7% actual police recruitment, and we're 183 officers short across the province, but that can all change in a heartbeat. We're very lucky here at Thorsby that our complement is here, it's healthy, and it's fully staffed, and it's fully working well staffed. The federal government provided $4 million in grant funding to support the implementation of policing committees, but at the same time, they wanted to charge municipalities if you wanted a policing committee. And I don't have, I'm going to make a comment without an opinion. I'm going to say that municipalities should not have to pay for a policing committee because it's volunteer. And so I don't understand why the municipalities have to choose, and most municipalities are choosing not to have policing committees. And policing committees are quite valuable because it builds that bridge, and it gives residents a chance to work with police jurisdiction, gives them a chance to talk about various things, volunteer. You can get young folks involved too. that's kind of what's happening here. I think if they didn't charge, they'd probably have more policing. They want to expend $4 million to expand the regional police and crisis teams in partnership with Alberta Health. So I'll say this, I guess myself and a lot of my colleagues are proud in 1983 to pioneer this with the Calgary Police Service. We have social workers, crisis workers, and highly trained volunteers and practical students and so forth. Partnership with the Calgary Police. So Calgary and Edmonton partnership, this idea that it was extremely effective and worked out all the kinks in it. So that this isn't anything new. They're indicating it looks new, but it's really not. And it never took the place of policing, but I know in my line of work at the time, I think I went probably on 100 death notifications with the guys, and they'd make sure if he was good, they'd leave me there, and we'd call it the rest of the team. So there is that sort of thing. There's the mental health calls that are absolutely on the increase, and the sad part is right now when you have someone under the use of force policy with the RCP and policing in Alberta, no matter if it's a peace officer, when you have someone under excited delirium where they're wrapped up emotionally and they're on something, the social worker is not going to talk that person down, not in a million years, and that's where you see some of this controversy about restraining folks with excited delirium. You also have folks that have been in a fight, and because the adrenaline is in there. In fact, we were talking about that a while ago. The adrenaline is so high and the endorphins are so high in their body, they turn into worse than excited delirium. They have no additional chemicals on board, but their internal chemicals have made them not see anything. It used to be a term called seeing red and black. There's two different things. So this is not a new thing, but for the RCMP it is, and that's fairly new. And so they want to expand that service. And I don't have a problem with it. I have my own opinions on it could be restructured differently, but that I'm not charged with. So, excuse me. So they want, of course, evidence-based, established communities who frequently do mental health act-related calls. And Thorsby's had their share of mental health act-related calls where they're Form 1, am I right? Form 10, thank you. Form 10 by the RCMP, and then it can be transported to a facility. So that's right, Form 1 is 2 psychiatrists. So they want us to write a letter in support of the expansion. They want us to support this and to basically move funds away from the sheriffs and major cities like Edmonton and Calgary. And simply, too, because Edmonton and Calgary's budget encompasses this. And the Alberta government, with the Fine Victim Surcharge Fund, supports Edmonton and Calgary and their victim service units. That's what your 15% is in every ticket. And the big cities are budgeted for years. They shouldn't really get that. They've already been budgeted. A lot of this should go to our rural areas and our smaller communities. So that's basically summary.
All right, anybody have any questions on that? Well, we're just gonna, if we've got anything, we'll bring it up, otherwise we'll just go the way it is.
Yeah, we could. I mean, we could talk about this at the end for if we need a resolution for something, but they're really looking for
Letters?
Yeah, they want a letter. We could leave this to the if we can just leave this for resolution. Okay.
All right, 5.5, Administration Policy ADM 2401, Compliance Certificate. Do you want to talk this one? I don't know.
Compliance.
Oh, no.
Compliance.
That's me.
That's you.
That's a me thing.
Not a me thing.
Sydney only talks if we've attached the fee to it. There's no fee in the
Okay.
so she's ditching it. So that's right. So a compliance certificate is issued by us to relate to the placement of buildings and structures. So in other words, a real property report. So in a lot of cases, before we had a planner and Thorsby, you're going to have in buildings and in residential areas, there's a lot of non-compliance. And that doesn't mean it's wrong, it doesn't mean anything, but when we issue your non-conforming certificate, it it means that maybe a fence is on someone else's property, the shed's too far over, but they were allowed, and they're not penalized for that, right? But we do have to report properly. So any new builds, we've had a lot of requests from real estate agents and lawyers for these certificates of compliance. So if they want one, they have to, it's just what they have to send us. 2 hard copies of the valid real property report, we call it RPR, so that's basically your survey, copies of the certificate of title, and any caveats, no longer than 90 days. Real property report must be no older than 7 years. And Liz and I had a long talk about this policy, and of course, this is what we're recommending. Where the date of the real property report is greater than 90 days prior to the date of applying for the certificate, it must be accompanied by a statutory declaration. So in other words, in case we have somebody fudging a real property report, or not bringing the right real property report, or wanting some stuff done, or trying to get information, and we've already had some discussion with residents and real estate agents who want information and they can't get it because they don't own the property. So, and it's not that we want to be difficult. We have a letter from the property owner, we can provide some information. So we are the development authority, so we'll issue a letter of compliance, and of course we retain 1 copy of the letter and the real property report for town records. They only relate, certificates of compliance only relate to the placement of the principal building, accessory buildings, i.e. garage sheds, and fences on a lot relative to the land use bylaw requirements for minimum yards and setbacks. And it is the bylaw of the day, because we know with this land use bylaw we have to update it, and we're going to be working on that this summer. So if we have a new bylaw by next Christmas, then that bylaw will apply, which we all know. The development officer may have deemed necessary to provide a note on the certificate of compliance indicating any encroachment, lack of development, and or building permit, and other violations of the land use bylaw. I don't have a problem doing that. It just depends what they want. When we issue a certificate of compliance indicating a non-conforming, non-compliance, or breach situation, the applicant may submit a development permit application or encroachment agreement request to remedy the situation in accordance with that bylaw. Some folks don't, but we have to report that it is non-conforming. When a development permit application granting a variance from the land use bylaw regulations is approved, and the development officer has jurisdiction to grant a variance unless she is outside the authority of the land use bylaw, then they can appeal it. It goes to subdivision appeal board for a variance. And I just chaired one in Leduc last Wednesday night where the development officer couldn't allow the variance. They came to the SDAB, and it was an interesting hearing because there was a whole lot of people opposed to this variance. And all you can do is base your decision on the land use bylaw, the municipal development plan, and the person got their variance. So sometimes that happens, so they can appeal it. When development encroaching on town properties are identified, the applicant must obtain an encroachment agreement prior to obtaining the compliance. It does not include our utility right-of-ways because they're owned by Fortis and nobody can build on those. I know there's some people who build and they park their vehicles and they build their gardens on that. I always say to folks, if Fortis or ATCO comes in, your garden and your shed and everything is gone. They don't have to get permission. When a development permit approval is granted to remedy a non-conforming, non-compliance, or breach situation, there's no charge for the issuance of a new certificate if the development permit approval or encroachment is granted within 1 year. So we're being very generous, and there's nothing wrong with that. Compliance certificates will not be issued for individual condominium units. So that's a relief. Town of Thorsby, we endeavor to process requests for compliance certificates as quickly as possible. Within 10 business days. However, if there's a non-compliance or encroachment situation requiring secondary process, such as a permit application or encroaching agreement, it lengthens the process. Municipal government gives us 14 to 21 days. We don't honor that. We process them faster because a lot of times you're just sitting on stuff that you can do. Any rush or expedited order requests of 2 working days may be requested for additional fees. Rush or expedited order requests cannot be guaranteed. So we've got a few of those already. Their crisis is not our issue. That is an administrative policy, ADM 2401, and it will stay in the administration, and that's just giving administration direction on how to issue and handle and planning compliance.
Okay, and we'll we'll bring it back for the 26th resolution.
And I just, actually just have a question. And under number 2, would it be, I don't know, feasible to put B first and then A after? Just because you talk about real property reports, then you talk about something else, and you go back to real property. No, B and A. Oh. Like put the title first and then go to property. I just think it looks better that.
Yeah, we could make that amendment, yeah, for sure. Yep. Gotcha. Thanks for that. It's always good to have other eyes on it, because these kind of policies, they're over and over and over, and you almost have to think through your head, what is the procedure, how am I gonna do this, right? So, yep, we have no problem with that administrative amendment, I don't see a problem.
Okay, any other questions on, and a motion to accept, 5.1 to 5.5 for information?
I'll make that motion.
Favor? It's carried. So moving on to old business, 6.1, Alberta Communities call to keep political parties out of local elections. And I think that we're showing the results of that, Donna, if I'm correct there, and it's just for information. I don't think there's too much to discuss in there. We've already sent in our survey on that, and that's the results. And with that.
Information, results, your worship.
6.2, 2024-2, records retention and disposal of municipal documents, second look. We've all kind of looked at that, and we're waiting if, again, if anybody's got anything to bring up, then we'll just bring it to the table there on the 26th and pass it, and away we go.
That, Mr. Mayor, and if I may, the background has some new, these are the same changes, right? Yeah, these are new, that's what I thought. So the background, we went through it again and made some changes. And then we have an additional change on 11.2.1. We're going to separate the development permits and the safety codes. We're just going to separate them out and change the coding on them. So that's what we'll do there. So if you're going through it, if you have any more thoughts, that's another 2 weeks to send them in. So these changes will affect it to the current draft.
All right. Questions, comments? No? Motion to accept 6.1 and 6.2 for information.
I can make that motion.
Favor? Yeah, moving on to the council reports. I didn't write anything for mine because I really didn't have anything to say. Very quiet month, other than day-to-day stuff, there's nothing really wanted to report on tonight. Anything? I believe Corey was about the same, except Corey right now he's in Calgary.
At the foundation conference, yeah, other foundation. It is.
So I don't believe myself and also don't have anything to say, so I'll turn it right over to Councilman Nelson.
Because I always have lots to say, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
I've got lots. Okay, so I did want to mention that on January 31st that I attended the Lego Club over at the complex, and I was quite amazed that there was at least 45 kids there, and it was really overwhelming to see that many kids having fun with Lego for 1 hour, but they were having fun. So anyway, then on to February 1st, I did Commissioner of Oath, and I attended a junior high basketball game, and I was bingo paymaster. February 4th, I attended the Lions Pancake Breakfast, and again, I was really impressed to see the people there and coming to breakfast after church, or not even churchgoers being there, and it was well attended. February 6th, library meeting. The library is offering programs such as Fun with Friends, Story Time. They ran a program to promote the library to homeschooled kids. Teen Time continues to be successful. There will be a lunar tea to celebrate the Lunar New Year. The most popular escape room is returning in February. This was a February report. Materials borrowed both virtually and in person has increased substantially. The library has been collaborating with the seniors, FCSS, and REC programming, exciting things to participate in. The seniors will be getting a virtual reality headset. That's through a grant. The Puppet Theater continues to be a huge hit, and makerspace and meeting spaces are being improved upon. February 12th, I did Commissioner of Oath. February 19th, Family Day, I attended the pancake breakfast put on by the Historical Society, and then attended Nerf gun wars and other activities at the Arctic Falls Complex. February 29th, I was bingo paymaster, and also Chamber of Commerce had no meeting in the month of February. That is my report.
You.
So February 6th, we had the library board meeting, as Tracy stated, which was a month ago, which we've already had our March meeting. So just some updates on what went on in February. There was great attendance with the escape room. There was over 71 people that participated in the 3 days. There was over 20 participants who participated in the Lunar New Year tea. Of course, they're having their after-school adventures, which have many kids coming to those. They're offering more programs in March. And they gave us a whole bunch of stats for 2023, so maybe I'll just scan that. Oops, stop, sorry. That's for the dog's medication. For March, I'll maybe scan that, and then I can put it in our March report for just the stats.
I think it was going to be in Connect 39. I believe it was already presented publicly that way.
Okay, all right. 3 great things was there was the collaborative seniors funding grant of $1,000 that Kelly and Paula did together, and so they're working on getting a virtual reality headset for the seniors, as Tracy had mentioned. There was also another seniors grant that was given by the county for $1,200, so they're trying to do more programming focused towards seniors and individuals unable to leave their homes. And then we just heard the other day that the library was awarded a $5,000 grant for skill development in rural Alberta, so they're going to be using that towards English language support for newcomers. And then it didn't say that on the email.
Remember what you just said?
Doesn't matter. February 8th, I was the bingo paymaster. February 19th, there was the Family Day festivities, attended the Historical Society breakfast, and then attended the rec complex for some activities with my children. And then on February 27th, at our regular council meeting, we had encouraged everyone to wear pink shirts for anti-bullying awareness, which Councilor Muslin and I did. And that's my report for February.
Good. All right, motion to accept the council reports for information.
I can make that motion.
Is in favor? So, 8.1, CEO report, CEO Donna.
Thank you, Your Worship. So, as always, months are busy, but just to highlight, February is the month when the linear clients update their emergency management plans, and so busy with claims midstream, APCO, Ford, and Pembina, updating, making sure our plans and contracts coincided, and building relationships with them, and discussing their book of business among those relationships. APCO gas was coming out in March, and we're going to start planning, I believe it's April. We're going to start planning a exercise, emergency management exercise based on recovery. So we're going to start planning that. And of neighbors, Calmar, Brett, Thorsby, to do that. So that's in the works for that. We have our audit from AMA, our Emergency Management Agency, this month, and it's usually just a checklist. So on our plan here is pretty robust. I assisted the Rural Animator Carol Ruffle with her application for the $25,000 rural mental health grant, and both CFO Cindy and I assisted her closing the grant for the wellness fair. We're going to send our SCSS coordinator Michaela for training. So we have a second animator in town, and that's already been approved. At first they didn't want 2 animators, but I said we have to look at succession planning, so they approved Michaela, and they provide the grant for training. Bit of hiccup, I guess, in the $25,000 grant for rural mental health team. Focused back on to the rural animator and indicated that some of the budget was ineligible. Work on, so they have till the 28th to relook at that. We're filling out surveys that are mandatory. These include the Stats Canada Wage and Job Vacancy Survey. Comes out every month, and they fill it 10 times. Make sure we're doing it. The Community Partnership Survey, the Government Alberta Asset Management Survey. That's mandatory. Alberta Municipalities Advocacy Survey that's not mandated, but anything from the government you send in. And Alberta Community Partnership Survey, that's not mandated, but we send that in. And we have a pretty robust partnership with our partners in the area, plus our First Nations neighbors at Enoch. Working with our new peace officer sitting beside me on procedures, events, calls for service projects, and it's underway about that. Sent out a call for volunteer student operators at need as per the dean's instructions regarding the opportunity to work at the water treatment plant. And we now know the process and granting process will apply next year, but the dean said there's always students who want to volunteer. So we put out the posting and we'll see. But next year we'll be ready with the grants because we didn't know they existed. But the manager of the Alberta Water Wastewater Board Association wants to come see us next week because they want to discuss training our water treatment plant training. So that's pretty exciting. And working with the CFO to do audit preparations and numerous resident visits as usual as the mode of the workday. And in the middle of this isn't a report. In the middle of Fortis grant, our furnaces, 2 new furnaces have to be replaced. We just can't. They just don't work anymore. So Fortis phoned me the other day and said, we have a grant for $7,500 that if you've got some stuff you want. I said, do furnaces qualify as eligible? He goes, yep. I said, on with the grant. So the last few days, the grant is quite complex. You have to determine the amount of CO2 emissions from the old furnaces and the new furnaces. You have to determine the kilowatt-hour saving based on the efficiency rule, the APE rule of the furnaces, and how the new rules are over 90% efficiency furnaces. We have to have, so I've been calculating all that, working on all that. It's not real figures, so I don't ask Sydney for help. It's something different. It's not money. Anyway, you're busy enough. So we're just waiting for LPH is going to send us their quote. That is the last thing, and we can send it into Fortis. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. We get $7,500 off 11.8. That's pretty darn good. So that's pretty exciting.
And which furnaces are these?
In here, there's 2 furnaces. They're not high efficiency. They blow outside out of the roof. One, the electric panel is shot. The other one, the heat exchanger.
They heat the bathroom really well.
They do heat the bathroom really well. That's where I'm moving my office. So they're old. They're over 20 years old. They're not efficient. When we get the new furnaces, they'll probably only waste 2% of natural gas coming into them instead of almost 70 right now. So it's really quite good, and the burn rate is faster, and they emit very little CO2 and carbon dioxide. It depends how much water you in the gas. I'm very fine. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And we're not freezing to death in here. I mean, all these thermostats. Your worship, I will turn to CPO Dayon to provide his report.
Worship, Council, thank you again for having me. What I'm going to report here is February reports. A few updates. So, we did do another snow clearing event this following the February 27th snowfall, where I identified a total of 12 residences that required maintenance to the sidewalks abutting their property and issued courtesy notices on February 28th. So the good news is this is an 87% decrease from January's numbers, where we had 95 residences that were identified as needing maintenance to their sidewalks, which is great news. On February 29th, I followed up on some of the identified properties and found an additional 4 residents that have complied. The snow clearing contractor did attend to the remaining properties on March 1st. A total of 3 properties have been charged for neglecting bylaw number 2006-57, section 7.18. The total shifts for this month was 6 shifts, so I offered 60 hours of enforcement or officer presence in town. With those hours, I had 5 public engagement events. We conducted 2 traffic stops here in Thorsby. We handled 4 bylaw files. I attended the crosswalk 3 times to provide officer presence for the kids crossing. There's 22 patrols conducted, and there was 2 events where I had to liaise with our CMP here in Thorsby, and which brings us to a total of 38 events. Now, I put on a note here as well, the reason for the shorter shifts this month is I attended the annual AA CPO Winter Conference, which is the Alberta Association for Community Peace Officers, from February 5th to 9th, where new skills and knowledge have been obtained that will be applied to the town of Thorsby. Also, another good thing, the Thorsby Cruiser is now fully equipped with the required light package to conduct traffic stops. The only thing now is to put the proper deckling on the vehicle, and then we'll be in full force. Right now, I'm limited to when I have access to the Kalmar truck, so that's why the numbers are only 2 this month. Also, a side note, I didn't put it on here, but today is the last day of my FTO program. So there's 3 months following my graduation from 2-month CPOI program. I had to do field training with Legio. So today, after today, I'm fully fledged.
We're stuck with it now.
So now, pretty much. It was a long road. So about this time last year, I started the application process for this position. And and then my first day on was September 1st, and then end of October I went into CPOI for 2 months, and then did this 3 months of field training, and then here we are today. Today's my last day, so thank you for having me.
And can I just say, like,
You're gonna say what I'm gonna say.
oh my God, he developed this form.
Yes, that's
It is amazing. And so the day after he put it on my desk to bill the, delinquent, a guy comes in and he's like, "Your peace officer put a thing on my door and I have a guy that shovels my sidewalk." And I'm like, "One moment, please." And I went in my office and I grabbed the form, and it's got picture before, like picture of the notice in the door, picture of the sidewalk before it's cleaned, picture of the sidewalk after. He did not know what to say to me. He was like, "Well, you don't clean your roads very well." And then I asked if he wanted to talk to Dayon, and he was like, "No, that's fine," and he left. So it was like absolutely amazing, because it's just another tool. So when Dayon's not here, like, we have all the documentation to like deal with stuff, and it's brilliant. So I thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate working with you to develop something so amazing.
So when we issue a violation, then the money goes back to the town, right?
Yeah, we issue provincial violations.
Yeah, okay, it's a provincial, that's what I meant. Okay.
Well, it's snow clearing's not though.
No, so with what we did this time, so the first event in January was a very soft enforcement event. It was strictly courtesy notices, getting people used to the program developing for the town. This time, we charged for snow clearing services. If there continues to be delinquent properties, then next time it'll be labor cost plus a provincial bylaw ticket.
And I can put snow clearing on the property. I can move it, so we'll get it.
And I believe that,
I think education, once people know we're serious about it.
because, the 87% decrease in, following the day of the snowfall, so people are aware.
It was a little more.
That's true, yeah. The January was a big cold snap, so yeah.
We usually look at, Your Worship, a 90-day rotation of education and soft enforcement. On the Alberta violation ticket, there's a box that you can check that says bylaw on it, and we do that municipal bylaw, but it's still processed the same as if you were speeding or as if you ran a red light. Now, because when the ticketing gets here, so then John just has to type, and a picture out of the car, and the ticketing there. Pretty much.
And I believe there's a 60% kickback to the municipality.
Yeah.
And will it be a similar format with weeds and maintenance?
Same thing.
You got it. Yeah, so I will be going out, issuing courtesy notices, and then letting them know when the contractor will arrive. If it's not cleaned, or property is not cleaned by that date, the contractor will do it, and then we look at labor costs and any violation tags.
Very good. Anybody have any other questions? Well, appreciate you coming in.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Keep it up. Welcome aboard. Thank you. Okay, 8.3, Public Works, Don, you wanna?
Thank you, Your Worship. Andrew's at the Provincial Water Wastewater Conference in Banff, and our two other public works are team lead and our Casey. Casey's finished the course. He's restudying now for the exam in April, but this is in the middle of the course, so it's a very difficult course. It's not easy, and it's a lot of math and a lot of figuring. Of course, the crazy part is once you pass, everything's on a computer. You don't have to think about it, but that's okay. So they're in the middle of all that, so that's progressing as it should. And all the snow was removed, as you could tell. A lot of folks were saying, geez, I saw a big snow pile out in front of me, and I looked around an hour or two later, and it was gone. And Casey's really doing a good job with that loader. I keep saying that all the time. I've watched him, and he's a pretty good equipment operator. There's been at all council meetings for the month of February. He and Dave and I and CFO Cindy are meeting regarding bulk water. We've had another oil company inquire today, so we want to make sure that we're starting to develop inventory targets, and we're starting to look at how much we're producing a day, how much we have, how much we can discharge, how much we can sell, etc. So we're expecting more of those kind of calls as people, companies want it. So we want to make sure that we have baseline inventory all the time so we can watch it. We even may put, we've got some old water meters. We may even put flow meters on some of this so we know exactly what's coming out. Any oil companies that use our, they'll have their own meters, and we'll be watching for that. So, and of course, I attended court, and I didn't put that on my report, but court is in February. And of course, Andrew was in attendance for those two courts. So that is Andrew.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions? All right, Kelly Clover.
So for the month of February, we had 121 active waivers, which is pretty good. Lego Club, Free Flight Thursday, those are continuing with good. It actually added a staff member to Lego Day. February 19th, we did our free family day event from 11 to 3. We had great attendance in the community. All 5 of our part-time staff were working on events, so it was, and they were nonstop for that. Also, as you already heard, we received notice that we were successful in our grant application to purchase virtual reality headsets. So I'll be working with, we ran the grant through the library. I wrote the grant. And I'll be working. Program for it. And we can also use the headsets for adult programs. On February 22nd, Sam and I attended the CARA meeting in Red Deer. So CARA is Central Alberta Recreation Association. I have never been to one before, so it was fantastic. It was, and this was a smaller one. There's probably 15
villages, hamlets, to the city of Red Deer. So the city of Red Deer worked with this one. It was great just connecting with other recreation managers, programmers that, have similar circumstances as us. Andrea, actually from Leduc County, stepped up and she's now the president of the association for the next year. And I believe we're hoping the next year at our facility. So, opportunity to showcase what we have out. Yeah. Also heard about the community helpers program that Leduc County offers that program I talked about. So I actually just completed my second session today. It's a nine session course, and it's geared for adults in the community that might have the opportunity to assist in need. So, we can approach taking it, complex, the traffic that is happening. As far as hockey, the family day long weekend, it was we just hosted a hockey tournament at our facility as well before the family day event. And it was actually a 2-ranked tournament, so it was in Calmar and Thorsby with double the teams, and then we hosted all of the students. So I really feel that because it was back to back to back to back. Teams bowling, like. But everything went successful. Really great feedback. Good. February 7th, I had a meeting with contracting. They're experts in ice building maintenance and all sorts of different regarding ice. Our snow pit cover is in homemade unit 4 years ago, and it had welding again. Replacement. So just working with them. About a good bit, just pointing it out, trying to come up with some might be a 2025 capital. The ice plant, the shutdown is booked for March 28th. So the plan is over the Easter weekend, it'll melt. And then our staff following
We got the debenture, the ice plant is paid for, the debenture is retired.
Get another one. Hold your horses there, girl, hold your horses.
Why not?
No, our ice plant is running, knock on wood.
Don't tell it it's
Finishing off
paid
the
for.
season
Yeah.
well, without any major hiccups. We've gotten it back to the regular. So that's good. I've also booked startup for Tuesday, September 3rd. Facility, so the controller needed replacement in our lobby mechanical controllers. We opted not to replace it. It's so obsolete. Electrical components that job. So we're going to try to list it here. We have a couple nodes that burn out an electrical node. We still have a few empty ones that are running. So we can get over. That's my technical. I'm a little yeah. The mirrors project in the weight room, did in February. It was great. Also, we just had some minor, couple fire alarms that we did our annual inspection replaced. And then we also tied in the kitchen suppression system, was never actually tied into our fire alarm panel because our old panel was too outdated for it. We replaced that panel last year. One thing I just wanted to note too is Easter weekend, we are closing the lobby side of the facility. So it would just be for the Saturday because Friday, Sunday, and so we're also closing it for Saturday.
And I think firefighters are coming in on Sunday, just waiting to hear. Yeah, they want to do some training with the ammonia. So,
They want to come in. Or
in these, yeah, so we'll firm that up.
So the ducks will be cleaned this Easter long weekend. Do that.
You? Any questions for Kelly?
I do. Do the staff, Kelly, wear any lanyards or anything that identifies them as staff? They need to.
I mean, we're a small group, I find you're good at me, but often you're, in my personal opinion, you're doing lots of things. I'm assuming you're doing staff too, so like Audrey,
Yeah.
serving snow cones and she's doing hot dogs, I wouldn't want to let her say. Jenna was skating on the ice for most of the event. Sam was, her role was to mingle, like, and try to capture as many people as possible.
In the field house, I had no clue who was staff.
Well, the field house wasn't actually part of the event. So all of the field house was just a backup or overflow if we were so busy front side. Because we had like, Sophia was nerve gun, Tyler was bowling, Audrey was food, Sam was floating, and then Jenna. And then we had to open it. So if they just opened it up. So you would have needed staff member floating in out, but that was not running an active.
Yeah, when it's quieter in there, it's obvious who's the staff, but on a day like that, I just felt like if there was an emergency or somebody trying to find staff.
There was always somebody.
True. But like, I assumed there was somebody in the field house. That I would have.
That would have been uploading.
I like the axe throw.
Yeah, we bought that last.
It's pretty cool.
Thank you. Okay, 8.5, the SCSS coordinator report. Did you want to go through it for us?
I certainly can, Your Worship. So, in the middle of planning the volunteer appreciation event, so the date is set, the ticket price is set, doors are at 5:30, supper show at 7. Our caterer is Tasha Harris, and we're just looking for entertainment. So, 28th and 29th, Michaela ended her first aid course. The Mom and Tots are still running as Mom and Tots till the end of March, and then that program will be pretty much retooling it. And Michaela was at the multi-municipal meeting on the 26th. She's putting articles in Connect 39, had 10 information referral calls, 4 walk-ins, 7 books. So it's pretty steady, actually, and which is good. So she's pretty busy.
You refresh me on that volunteer. Do we sell tickets or do we give you tickets?
No, we sell
tickets. Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. And that, Tasha Harris, who's that?
I have no idea.
Oh.
I don't. Oh, Coffee Plus. Yeah, Coffee Plus is routine. Yeah, she's done some really nice stuff for the volunteer luncheons and so forth. She really she can cater very well.
Yeah, I just didn't.
Yeah, that's all right. I should have. Sorry about that. Yeah. So we believe last year we sold 125 volunteer tickets. We think we're going to be at 150 this year.
That's going to be at the hall again?
Yeah. Yeah, it's just easier to set up, and depending on the entertainment, we'll either set it up like last year, or set it up in the round. We're just not sure.
And are you accepting checks or e-transfers or cash or checks? Directly to Michaela, or you'll accept
We don't make anything, oh, you mean the check made out the town of Thorsby to Michaela? Yeah, what? Yeah, we did last year. And probably the rec center one. We haven't put out exactly what the tickets are yet, that's it.
Okay, thank you for that. Anybody have any other questions? Can I get a motion to accept the city reports for information?
I can make that motion.
All in favor? Carried. 9.1, CFO report.
Oh, see? With holiday coverage for Cheryl, cash receiving non-raised utility billing, approved payables and EFT payment processing, assisted staff with TP questions, we have payroll, pension adjustment calculations, keyboard, payroll issues, ingredient, pension reporting finalization, field and resident inquiries, tax recovery and tax sales letters, and I think to date we've had like lots of phone calls, though. I talked to a couple people today. They're going to pay this week. They have to the 15th to pay, or they get a lien on their property, and they have, if they're up for tax sale, they have till the 31st to pay, or will be going to sale. And I think there'll be 5 properties up for sale. So just because there's been no attempts for years, so yeah. And we're just going to hire a company out of Edmonton that does everything, so that we don't miss a step. I don't have time.
Too cumbersome.
It's a lot of work, so it's enough work just to put the liens on the property. Completed community group payments for approved budgets, so all the community groups got their money, or half of their money. Met with Donna, Dave, and Andrew regarding bulk water station, made weekly staff meetings with lawyers, and attended court. We sent in the Royal Bank payment application submission, which came back because they need one application for utilities and one application for taxes. So I'll get those sent back in this week. Gave feedback on the document destruction bylaw, month-end processing, preparation of audit documents. The auditors have all the documents. They will be here next week to do their testing and anything they need from us. It should go super smooth because everything is there, all the backup. Very shocked when he got here. There was 2 water shutoffs in the month of February, which is back on. 6 new business licenses net over last year. 7 now. I set up meetings for May to explore e-billing, because that would save us, I'm thinking, between $5,000 and $10,000 a year, just postage and paper and envelopes and time. So did that and assisted the assessors with requested information for property tax assessment. Financial information. Outstanding utilities at the end of the month, $73,168.38, of which $5,308.64 is subject to shut off. Outstanding taxes doesn't look too bad because of the people on tips. So there's only $148,000 outstanding, of which $77,000 is up for tax recovery and $44,000 is from 2023. So our operating accounts at the end of February had $502,566, up from $93,000 last year, and our savings account had just over $1.4 million, up from $1.34 last year.
Any questions? Motion to accept the CFO report for information.
I'll make that motion.
Favor? Carried. All right. Lastly, correspondence. Donna, you want to go through these, or what do you want to do with these here? Just leave them?
It's up to your worship's pleasure. The only thing I might comment on is Mr. McIver's budget 2024 and the SDF review, because I have to attend that. And that would be about it, just a high level.
anybody have any questions on that? Maybe read them or go through them, or pretty straightforward. They're really just for information. Okay, well, if you want to make a comment on that one.
I can, Your Worship. So basically on the letter from Minister McIver, Rebudget 2024, I know that the 3920 Alliance has asked us to, as a council, we volunteered the night of their AGM to write Minister McIver and get him out here to 3920, so we can start looking at discussing more money for infrastructure in rural municipalities. We've held off on writing the letter till the budget came out, so we can make references into the budget. Now that budget is out, they are allocating in this budget $60 million over 3 years for local growth and sustainability grants to release some of the pressures of facing fast-growing communities. I think one of the things that the province is in a habit of, I will say this, is that by sustaining more growth in the cities, they don't fund rural municipalities. That people want to stay in rural municipalities, and they want the services there, and we'd like to be able to provide those services. And so the problem is every time they add more money, Edmonton widens out, Calgary widens out, Lethbridge widens out, Red Deer widens out, et cetera. So that's part of what the agenda will be for Minister McIver when it comes up to the 3920. Is to say, look, that's enough. Let them get their budgets in order. We're sitting here starving to death, and you're worried about their sustaining growth when they should be growing up and they should be redoing their cities in an appropriate manner. So comment on that. And the ICF review on the next one is we, as a CFO, we're invited to attend, but it's really mandatory. So it's a nice invitation of giving our opinion about the intermunicipal, the ICF that we've just done, the agreement durations, cost calculations, mediation, and arbitration. So there is a survey that certainly councils can, the surveys there the councils can do, but we have to attend on the surveys available till April 12th, and CFOs will be getting their date, here to come pretty soon. So we'll all be there to talk about the ICF. And the Minister's Awards for Municipal and Public Library Excellence. They do have an award. I mean, they have quite a few awards, but the one that caught my eye was the smaller municipalities, which is us. We have a pretty good library here, and lots of programming and lots of stuff. I think we should nominate our library for an award, to be quite honest with you. And so that has to be by April 15th. So I will defer to our two library counselors.
I had looked at that, Donna, but I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if we had to a specific person. I didn't know we could elect our whole library.
I think it says here, smaller municipalities, the award will be given for a municipal initiative that demonstrates leadership, resourcefulness. I'm thinking of your virtual stuff or your escape room stuff or the amount of folks you have coming in out of this library with all the unique programming.
Well, maybe the librarian, Paula, would be able to assist you in identifying something that would be substantial to submit.
I'm actually happy for your help on this.
Yeah. And the stats there that Shelley has, like, they're just very impressive. They are always keeping track.
When's your next library board meeting?
The first Tuesday of next month. Yeah.
Okay, so that's before the 15th. Maybe if you'd be so kind as to bring it up.
We can send an email.
I don't think it has to be secret. I think they need to be involved in
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If we get input from Paula or whoever.
And if they even want to write it or put it together and I can sign it off or whatever we need to do, they can run the first draft. I mean, all of you maybe in a meeting can look at the first draft and get it together, and then we can finesse it here. But I was reading this and thought, our library's pretty darn good here.
Yeah.
Exactly. So let's blast it. So those are the overarching indicators in the first one.
Perfect. Any questions on that first promise? A motion to accept 10-1 to 10-4.
I can make that motion.
Favor? Carried. Well, I don't see anybody in the gallery here unless you two want to say anything.
Good man already. Excuse me, where's your?
Yeah. Okay, well, if that's it, I don't see anything else, so a motion to adjourn, please.
I'll move to adjourn.
Favor? Carried. Thank you very much.
Big package, but lots to do.